We live in an era of unprecedented nutritional obsession. We chase the latest superfoods, the fad diets, the rapid detoxes. But high above the world, clinging to the roof of the planet, Tibetan monks have been sustaining themselves for centuries on almost nothing. They thrive in the most unforgiving environment on earth, maintaining profound physical health and mental clarity. They don't count calories, they don't follow trends, and they certainly don't have access to grocery stores. Their secret lies not in what they eat, but in a profound spiritual understanding of food that modern society has completely forgotten. This is the wisdom of sacred sustenance. If you are seeking deeper, ancient wisdom that transcends the noise of modern diets, take a moment now to like this video and subscribe. It helps us bring these forgotten stories to light. To understand the monastic relationship with food, you must first understand the environment. We are talking about the high Tibetan plateau, brutal altitude, scarce resources, unforgiving cold, and soil that yields little. Survival here is a miracle. For the monastic community, food was never a luxury, never entertainment, and never an enemy. It was a tool, a form of medicine, and perhaps most crucially, a profound act of meditation. Their diet was built around sustainability, interdependence, and the ultimate Buddhist principle, minimizing harm. The modern world views food through two primary lenses, pleasure or performance. We either indulge in it or we try to eliminate it. The Tibetan monastic tradition offers a third, far more powerful perspective, food as sacred necessity. When a monk eats, he is not merely fueling his body, he is engaging in a complex ritual that connects him directly to the earth, the farmer, the animal, and the entire ecosystem that enabled that sustenance. This is the concept of dependent arising applied directly to the dining hall. The cornerstone of the monastic diet is a deceptively simple staple, tsampa. This is roasted barley flour. In the high altitude where rice and wheat struggle, barley thrives. Tsampa is lightweight, highly nutritious, and requires no cooking, a crucial advantage for nomadic monks or those on long retreats. The raw barley is roasted, ground into flour, and then mixed, usually with butter tea, into a dense dough-like ball called a pa. Tsampa is the perfect metaphor for the monastic life itself, simple, durable, and profoundly efficient. It provides slow-release carbohydrates, essential fiber, and when combined with yak butter, it delivers the necessary fats and calories to withstand the extreme cold. It is, by definition, the antithesis of the modern, processed, short shelf life food chain. But the physical components of tsampa are only half the story. The true power lies in the philosophy surrounding its consumption. In the monasteries, the act of eating is often performed in silence. This silence is not merely a formality, it is enforced mindfulness. When we eat quickly, distracted by screens or conversation, we sever the connection between the food and the physical sensation of satiety. The monks, by contrast, engage every sense. They observe the texture, they appreciate the subtle flavor of the grain and the butter, and they consciously track the moment their hunger begins to subside. This practice ensures that they eat exactly what is required and no more, making overconsumption almost impossible. Crucially, before every meal, a Buddhist monk engages in a specific ritual that embodies the principle of ahimsa, or non-harm. They visualize the food not just as substance, but as a gift. They recite a mantra, often acknowledging the suffering and effort involved in bringing the food to their bowl, whether it was the effort of the farmer or, in certain necessary cases, the sacrifice of an animal. This is where the Tibetan tradition confronts a practical dilemma often misunderstood by Westerners: the issue of meat. Buddhism strictly forbids the intentional taking of life. However, in the high barren steppes, a purely vegetarian diet is often nutritionally unsustainable, especially during the brutal winters. The monks developed a nuanced ethical stance known as the three purenesses. Meat is permissible only if the monk did not see the animal killed, did not hear the animal killed, and had no reason to suspect the animal was killed specifically for him. This strict limitation transforms meat consumption from an act of appetite into an act of necessity and deep spiritual responsibility. If meat must be consumed for survival, it must be done with immense gratitude, and the monk must dedicate the energy gained from that consumption toward beneficial spiritual practice, thus elevating the act above mere sustenance. The guilt of taking a life is transformed into a vow to use that life's energy to pursue enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. This concept of sacred debt is profoundly missing from modern society. When we grab a cheap, prepackaged meal, we feel no connection to its origin, no gratitude for the earth, and no sense of responsibility for the waste generated. We treat food as an endless, disposable commodity. The other essential element of the monastic diet is pocha, or Tibetan butter tea. This is not the delicate Earl Grey we are familiar with. Pocha is a thick, salty, calorie-dense concoction of black tea, yak butter, and salt. It sounds unusual, but it is a perfect functional beverage for the high altitudes. The tea provides hydration and tannins, while the yak butter, rich in conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, delivers immediate, necessary fat and warmth. It serves the same function as modern coffee, but with a crucial difference. It provides sustained energy without the adrenal spike and crash associated with highly caffeinated or sugary beverages. It is fuel for meditation, not fuel for frantic activity. The monastic kitchen, or gongkang, operates on the principle of zero waste. Every scrap, every leftover, is treated with respect. In a community where food is scarce and hard-won, disrespecting the food is disrespecting the life that produced it. This is a practical application of the mindfulness cultivated during the meal. Modern society, drowning in food waste, could learn volumes from this forced efficiency. The monastic diet is, therefore, a masterclass in adapting spiritual principles to harsh ecological realities. It teaches us that true nutrition is not measured by grams of protein or calorie counts, but by the level of awareness we bring to the plate. The modern paradigm often encourages us to view our bodies as machines that must be optimized, and food as the fuel source. The monastic view is that the body is a fragile temporary vessel, and food is the precious offering that allows the mind to pursue its ultimate goal, enlightenment. When food is viewed as an aid to spiritual practice, the choices naturally gravitate towards purity, simplicity, and sustainability. Consider the contrast. A modern person might eat a highly processed health bar, designed for optimization, yet eat it standing up while scrolling through their phone, creating anxiety and poor digestion. A monk eats a bowl of simple sampa, sitting in silent reverence, digesting the food completely and absorbing its full spiritual and physical benefit. The monk's simple meal delivers far more profound nourishment. The lesson transcends geography. We do not need to abandon our local cuisine or start eating sampa. We need to adopt the monastic mindset of intentionality. This mindset asks 3 critical questions before every meal. 1. Is this necessary? Am I eating out of hunger, habit, or emotion? 2. Is this pure? Does this food support clarity of mind and health of body? 3. Is this acknowledged? Do I appreciate the full chain of dependent arising that brought this food to me? By adopting this framework, food transforms from a source of conflict and confusion, the constant push-pull of dieting, guilt, and craving, into a source of strength, gratitude, and peace. The true power of the Tibetan monastic approach to food is its ability to integrate the physical act of eating into the highest spiritual goal. It is not about deprivation, it is about precision. They eliminated the chaos of choice and the noise of distraction. By simplifying the menu and sanctifying the process, they freed up immense mental energy. That energy, which we often waste worrying about our weight or what to cook next, is channeled directly into meditation, study, and service. The monk understands that the goal of eating is not to prolong life indefinitely, but to use the span of life granted to achieve spiritual liberation. Food is merely the vessel that keeps the lamp lit. When we begin to treat our meals with this level of reverence and intentionality, as a direct contribution to our highest purpose, we stop seeing food as a problem to be solved and start seeing it as the sacred sustenance it truly is. The greatest poverty in the modern world is not the lack of food, but the lack of appreciation for it. We have forgotten that every meal is a miracle, a complex interplay of sun, soil, water, and human labor. The Tibetan monks, living in scarcity, taught us that abundance is not measured by the quantity on our plate, but by the depth of our gratitude for the simplest things. Their wisdom offers us a path back to sanity, where food nourishes the body, calms the mind, and fuels the soul toward a clearer, more intentional existence. What is one small ritual of mindfulness you can bring to your next meal? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this journey into ancient wisdom resonated with you, subscribe for more deep dives into the philosophies that modern society desperately needs to remember. Thank you for watching.